Hello, everyone, and welcome to You've Got Melex. Woo! Yes, I have to do that every time. I am in a training department, and I do that for all of my classes, or almost all of them. And then I make fun of people who don't get excited with me and shame them until they do. Yeah, I'm great at that. Be excited. So last week we ranted, and by last week I haven't uploaded the podcast yet. Look, we're on quarantine time. Things happen. Motivation leaves. So it's edited. There's just a particular rant that I'm still not 100% certain that I want to air. So
wait, which one?
Oh, my whole thing about credit unions. I may have to edit that out, but no.
I'll tell you that Katie texted me the other day and was like, "Oh, I'm laughing so hard at your podcast when you guys said this," and I was like, "What? I don't know what you're talking about." And she's like, "Oh, when you said blah 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 blah," and I was like, "I completely don't remember anything I say on here." Texting me about it, and I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah, well, having edited it now, it gives me a good refresher. I remember a good chunk of it, but when I'm listening back, I'm like, oh yeah, oh man, we're so funny. We really are. I mean, we knew that. That's why I knew the podcast would work. So yeah, we checked in earlier this week on, well, you and I were just talking about quarantine in general and losing motivation for life. Yeah, so it was my brother's birthday on Tuesday, and my mom was like, oh, let's go and have a social distance party with them. And so we're like, okay. And so I made bread. So that was fun. That was my first time ever. My mom had a bread maker back in the day, but I didn't really do a whole lot with that. But
we made bread on Tuesday also.
Wow, great minds. So yeah, I made bread. It was a yeast bread, because that just sounded good. And no one understands it. Yeast bread is different than regular bread. They're just oh, you're talking about not not unleavened bread. I was like, no, it's different. Yeast bread is, I don't know how. I don't know enough about bread to explain it, but there is a yeast bread is a.
Is it a roll?
Well, there were small things. I think you could, because they have yeast rolls too, and I think that's the same thing, but different sizes.
Shape.
I don't know. I don't know enough about bread. I just know that I like it, and so I was like, I can do that because I ordered yeast on Amazon, and so I made it, and then I made homemade vegan cinnamon honey butter because I use vegan butter anyways because it's really good. And it's the stuff at Texas Roadhouse or whatever. So I made that, and then my mom made cherry chip cake for my brother because they're the only two people on the planet who like it, and it's really hard to find. She's like, I think I cornered the market on it. I'm the only person who can find it. So she made him a cherry chip cake, and then me and my mom, I was gonna drive to Kyle's on my own, and then my mom and stepdad were gonna drive, and then my car wouldn't start because it's been more than 2 weeks since I've driven it. And I honestly, I didn't think it would be a problem because it was I don't know, I just think it's not in the cold or anything. I have a heated garage. I wouldn't have thought that would be a problem, but it was. So I'm gonna have to get a battery charger thing and work on that. And it's funny because I didn't even care about really going anywhere until this week. And I don't know if
you can't.
I guess so. All of a sudden this week, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go through the McDonald's drive-thru or something. That'll be fine, right? And then I'm like, no, my car's not working. Shit. And that's happened 3 or 4 times this week where I'm like, I'm going to go drive and just go get the thing. Just kidding. I can't. Yeah, it's been a problem. So that's been, so that was a thing. We had our social distance. So my mom picked me up and we just wore masks. I wore my Marauders mask.
Yay.
Marauders mask that you sent me. And yeah, that's been the most interaction I've had all week. I definitely was fashionable for that outing as well. I was wearing a alpaca corn galaxy sweatshirt with a rainbow on it, and camo sweatpants, and some Adidas, black and pink Adidas, so real cute. And then underneath the alpaca corn sweatshirt was a color changing shirt, and then my Marauders mask. So just all fashion all the time.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah. I'm pretty, worst city in the nation 2012, what up? Like, you gotta represent, so.
I made, when I made bread on Tuesday, I made pineapple coconut bread.
Ooh.
Because what I was going to do was make bread pudding out of the pineapple coconut bread. And then the bread was too good, and I just
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
No, I made my first year in a high school of Spanish class, we all had to do like a project and do something of like a Spanish speaking country's descent. So it didn't have to be like Spain, but it could be like Caribbean or what's up?
Mexico, I said.
Like Mexico or South America or Caribbean. So I did it was like this Caribbean carrot cake, but it had coconut and pineapple in it. Or I think maybe it wasn't coconut, it was just pineapple. But it had like other sweet stuff in it, and it was so good, and everyone loved it. And I'm like, I was just watching a YouTube video about someone making carrot cake, and I was like, I really want to add pineapple in it, and that pineapple coconut bread sounds just similar and also delicious.
So this is actually, like, the recipe that I used is from a restaurant that we'll be eating at if we ever get to go to Disney World. But
yeah. Maybe one day we'll go. I mean, I went to the baby. I'll savor those memories, or lack thereof. All right. So last week we ranted about things. This time we're going to talk about our favorite things. And so we both made lists. Yay, things that we love. My elbows disappear. That's fun. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, the last couple times I've had a background, those were pictures in Alaska that I took. I'm very proud of my state. I was born and raised here. So I had the fireweed. That was somewhere between Chena Hot Springs and Anchorage, but I don't remember where. Somewhere, I think it was in Denali National Park. Beautiful. And then there was a sunset last week, I think. I'm trying to remember where that was from. I think that was another one from Denali, but then this is Kenai Lake, and there's a little stream you can see. And
pretty.
Yeah, it was really cool. So anyways, I'm just Alaska. I was gonna do something and I don't have a tattoo there, so that's cool. Eventually I will get an Alaska tattoo because
you have to.
It's my state.
It's a requirement for living in the state of Alaska.
It really is, though. Everyone has literally Alaska on it, or AK or 907.
907.
Yeah, a lot of the state of Alaska filled with northern lights. I've seen that a couple times. Sometimes forget-me-nots. But yeah, I have to think of some at least somewhat unique Alaska tattoo. Yeah. But yeah. So do you want to start with some of your favorite things?
Okay. So things that I love. Okay, so you sent me you were like, oh, we'll talk about favorite TV shows and da-da-da, because you Alexis always directs me on what we're going to be talking about, and then I just go along with the flow because she's the mastermind here. And so she said TV, movies, books and stuff, and I was like, okay, I'll start with TV. And so I started with TV. And I was like, well, I can't just pick one favorite TV show. So I made this huge list, and it's a bunch of categories. Ooh. So it's favorite TV drama, favorite TV sitcom, favorite TV daytime television.
Well, you're hardcore like that because you watch all the award shows and stuff too, and you're my go-to person for especially with movies, but not necessarily as much as TV, but still.
So I'll just go down my list, starting with drama. This Is Us, because it has my future husband, Milo Ventimiglia, on it.
Who's not married to Mandy Moore.
Yeah, who is not.
Fun fact, if you didn't know, he is not married to Mandy Moore.
And yeah, I mean, that's the current drama that I like. This was kind of a hard category because there's also Grey's Anatomy, which I have like 15 years of my life invested in. So there's that. Okay, so drama, This Is Us. I know you watched This Is Us too, so.
I do, yeah. Well, you made me.
Yeah.
It had been one of those shows that like everyone had recommended for years, and I was like, I see how emotionally distraught people are, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. And then I stayed at your house, and you're like, we're watching it, and I'm like, okay. And then
then your life was ruined.
Yeah, and then my life was ruined. I was sitting here finishing the episodes, ugly crying alone in my house, so loud that it made the cats run away. And like, yeah, it's a great show. I understand. I am glad you made me watch it.
Mm-hmm. Reality competition. I have more than one reality television category here.
You're a reality junkie.
Big Brother. This is also one that I have 20 years of my life invested in, and one day I hope to eventually be on. So Big Brother. Great.
I've only watched like one episode, but you would win. So I just know. Yeah, obviously.
Reality lifestyle, Teen Mom. I've been watching Teen Mom, like 10 years now. I just have to, if I ever wonder how long I've been watching Teen Mom, I think of how old my nephew is, because when my sister was pregnant, that's when like the first Teen Mom came out, and she was a teenager when she had my nephew. So yeah, we watched Teen Mom. So my nephew's about to turn 11, so I've been watching Teen Mom about 11 years. And Teen Mom OG, Teen Mom 2, Teen Mom 3 for like the 1 season, 2 seasons that it was on. Young and Pregnant, any of the Teen Mom, anything that falls under the Teen Mom umbrella, I'm there for it. Next, sitcom, Friends. And then that's followed closely by The Office. And then that's followed closely by How I Met Your Mother. So How I Met Your Mother, like I was super reluctant to watch at first, because I'm like, it was like really popular, and I'm like, people keep telling me to watch it, I'm not gonna watch it. And I had this one friend who she told me to watch it like all the time, like she was obsessed with it. And then she died in 2010. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to watch How I Met Your Mother for her. And then I loved it, of course. So How I Met Your Mother.
So that's what I have to do to get you to watch my shows. Like, that's a real dramatic. I would prefer if it didn't have to go that way.
Don't do that.
No, I won't. Like, I won't ever do that. But at the same time, like, I need everyone I care about to watch all the same shows as me.
Yeah.
And so I have to figure out a way to get you to do that. It's just like you're trying to get me to get a Disney annual pass. It's like just this constant like working our way, manipulating each other. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have not convinced myself that you won't get a Disney annual pass. Like, I think that nowhere in my mind does it exist that you won't.
I mean, I'm not like, at the moment, I am not convinced, but it sounds like there's a lot of benefits. So it's one of those things that, like you said, that once Nick was there, he like was convinced to do it. And so I was like, okay, then maybe once I'm there, I will be too. I'm not like, I haven't completely ruled it out. Just at the moment, I'm not like ready to commit to that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna like put it out there too, that it would be a really excellent thing to spend your stimulus check on. It's extra money you weren't expecting to get. So I mean, it's not like you're like spending your own money, you're spending the government's money. So
oh, wonderful. Ron Swanson would be proud.
Okay, game show more. I have more than one game show category too. Game show morning. Price is Right. Okay. I watch Price is Right every morning, 9 a.m. This week's Kids Week, which is a real bummer. It's not very good. Game show Primetime. Game of Games, which is Ellen's show.
I've seen that a couple times. Or I've seen the end of it before This Is Us a couple times.
I'm convinced, like, if I got into, like, the hot hand seat where they have to, like, they put up celebrity pictures and you have to guess 10 of them in 30 seconds, I would get it. Like, I would get it every single time. And I'm like, who are these people that do not know who Jennifer Lawrence is? Like, just, hello.
Who are you? Yeah. Yep.
Daytime television, Judge Judy. Love me some Judge Judy.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are my last two categories. One is HGTV television show. Sorry, I'm getting like a text message. So on the network HGTV, my favorite show on HGTV is Property Brothers. And I've watched more Property Brothers over the past like 48 hours than anyone should legally be allowed to watch. There's like 16 seasons or something on Hulu, so like I'm just knocking them out of the park. And then TLC is the other channel that I have showed, like, which my favorite on TLC is Sister Wives. Love Sister Wives. Like, I wish that, like, it's always up in the air whether Sister Wives is going to get renewed or not, and I'm always stressed about it, and then they do, and I'm relieved, and I'm always, like, I'm just worried for them. I'm worried that they're not going to be renewed, but, like, the season just ended, like, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, and I'm like, if that ends up being the series finale, I will be heartbroken. And then Sister Wives is followed closely by Little People Big World. I really like Little People Big World, and I went to their pumpkin farm last year during the fall, and I met Amy, the mom on Little People Big World, and rode in a like little like train, I don't know what it, like a trolley, I guess, around the farm with Tori, which is Zach's wife, and then Jackson, which is their son. So it was exciting.
That's pretty cool.
So that's my approximately 1,000 favorite television shows. Would like a turn to speak now.
No, that's all good. I mean, I literally wrote like 4 pages of stuff. So I was like, I should randomize it because I don't think I'll be able to get a lot of mine all in, or I don't think I'll be able to get all of mine. So it's literally front and back because that's how many I wrote. So the first one is dad jokes. And I love dad jokes. I love like really stupid stuff, like literally stuff just because it's stupid. Because it reminds me of just innocence. It's what's good in the world. Like when I'm having a bad day, I will literally be like, someone tell me a dad joke, or I will look one up. And it's funny because our work, we have Slack. I don't know if you use Slack.
No, but I know about it.
Yeah, it's sort of like Twitter for work for anyone who doesn't know, but like, so there's different threads or whatever. So different, like they do use hashtags, but that's different threads for different topics or whatever. So we have a dad jokes thread that is like constantly being blown up, and it makes me so happy, especially in times like this. So dad jokes and just stupid things are things that make me happy because, yeah, I mean, that's puns. That's why I love puns. Me and Melanie, like.
Let me tell you what happened to me the other day. It was literally the worst experience of my life. And it was that so my boyfriend, his brother, so my boyfriend's name is Nick, and then his brother's Mitch. I know that you know this, but I'm letting everybody else know.
No, you're good.
So Mitch likes Peeps. Like the only person in the world that I know that likes Peeps.
My mom does.
So anyways, I was at Walmart the other day, and the Easter candy happened to be 90% off. So I was like, I'm going to buy Mitch some Peeps. So I bought Mitch some Peeps. And what I mean, I bought Mitch some Peeps, I mean, I bought Mitch 2 cases of Peeps, like 24 packs. So it's 24 packs with 10 Peeps in each pack. So it's like 240 Peeps per box. And I bought 5 boxes.
Wow.
A lot of Peeps, like a lot. And then I took him 1 box of Peeps, and he was like, how am I supposed to eat this? But like laughing it off, you know? And so it was like, ha 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 ha, funny. So then the next day I bought him the second box of Peeps, and he was like, okay, this is ridiculous. And so then the third day I brought him a third box of Peeps, and he's just like sick of it now. And then the fourth day I didn't like take the box to him, I just left it on the counter with the other ones. And so then he found it. So I wasn't there when he found it, but Nick said that he was. Anyways, so the point of the story is that after the first box he was like, how am I gonna eat all these Peeps? And then he was like, oh, I can make Rice Krispie treats with the Peeps as the marshmallows. And then Nick was like, Rice Krispie peas or something like that. And I was like, come on, they would be Rice Krispies.
Right.
And then like nobody like appreciated that. It's like obviously Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispies. Like it's right there. It's right there. Yeah. No, you're 100% correct. Like that was my first instinct too. I don't know how. Oh, that's.
And so, anyways, it was really frustrating that nobody acknowledged the genius of Rice Krispies.
Yeah, no, that's super important. It's funny because I was totally just thinking I wanted to make Rice Krispie treats, but I want like some form of chocolate with them too.
So my favorite thing to do, I just made Rice Krispie treats like a couple of days ago. The same day I made the pineapple coconut bread, I made Rice Krispie treats. So I do like. It calls for 6 cups of Rice Krispies. So I do like 4 cups of Rice Krispies and 2 cups of Fruity Pebbles. And they're great. Really good. Or 3 and 3 works too.
Okay, that sounds solid.
Yeah, really good.
Into that. No, I just, dark chocolate is actually one of the things on my list, but I like, you can put dark chocolate on like anything basically, and I would eat it. But that's what I wanted to do.
On some Rice Krispie treats?
No, that's what I was thinking. Like that was literally, I was like, I want Rice Krispie treats, but I also want chocolate. I'm just gonna put chocolate on it. Like, yeah, of course, that works. Yeah. Yeah. So dad jokes, that's one of the things on my list. Well, let me talk about a couple TV shows, which I have in here, but I don't feel like fishing out. So, because you went over your TV shows, and I think it's funny because like we have so many things, like so many opinions that we have in common, but then like I feel like a lot of our TV show preferences, like our movie preferences are very similar, our book preferences are, but TV shows are like totally different.
Yeah, they are.
There's some things in common, but like I don't have a problem with like people who watch reality TV. I think I used to kind of judge it, but it's like whatever. I think for me, I feel like I always ride the line between optimism and pessimism. Like I always try and be positive, but watching reality TV, I feel like makes me lose faith in humanity. And so I just like, I can't do it. And so if I see like people who are just not being, I don't know, my version of what I want them to be, then it's just like, I can't do it because these are real people. Whereas if people are crappy in a written TV show, well, sometimes that still bothers me, but I like.
But at least you know they're
fake. At least I know it's written in there like that, you know. But yeah, like so I think that's my issue with it, because I try to identify all these things because sometimes it has meaning, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, like so a lot of my shows a lot of things I like are scripted or sort of like improv, or like it is like YouTube or something. So not like reality TV where they don't, I mean, some of them play a character, but the YouTubers that I watch are not the ones that are full of crap, because I can't handle that. Fakeness really sets me off.
I do have on my list of favorite things, I do have a vlog, which is new to me. Like, you know, you watch a lot of YouTube, I don't. I mean, I watch YouTube, just I don't watch any, like I don't follow anybody and like watch them regularly, but since quarantine I found one that I like.
Oh, nice.
So we can talk about that later.
Okay, well, let me remember my TV show. So like there's a couple that I somehow have to get you to watch without telling you, because that's gonna make it not happen.
Mm-hmm.
But Sex Education, I know I've talked to you
that's
about.
On my list of things to watch.
Yeah, it's just such an excellent show. They talk about so many important issues on subjects that are like taboo or things that people don't normally talk about, and they're so important, just like about sexual health and just understanding it. And then it's also like emotional and has like real stakes, but it's also hilarious, and it just so many wonderful things that I wish I had known at that age. Like, I feel like I would have been a lot more comfortable with myself. And then kind of along that line, but in a very different vibe, is Big Mouth. Big Mouth is like an animated series on Netflix, so another Netflix series, but it's about kids going through puberty and how they're learning about all the things going on with their body. But they have, like these animated, they're hormone monsters, and the hormone monsters like, touch yourself, like all. So it's kind of gross. Like, the first episode, I would say, has more penises than like I've seen in my life.
And an episode than us playing Jackbox TV.
Okay, it might be equal to that, but it was a lot. And I remember trying to get people into it, and they're like, "Oh my God, there are so many dicks," and I was like, "Okay, most episodes don't have that many dicks in them," just to like put that out there. Like, but it is about like puberty, and of course that's like one of the biggest things going on, is like all these body things are changing, and they talk about it. And so again, it's just sexual education, talking about important things, and it's just younger and more like abstract than like sex education. But so, again, just like talking about things that matter to me. I'm trying to remember other TV shows. Parks and Rec, which I don't know if you saw.
Parks and Rec, yeah.
They're doing like a live version of like a new episode April 30th or something. What? I don't know. I have no idea how. I was trying to, like, BuzzFeed put out an article about it, and it was on like the Instagram for NBC Parks and Rec.
That's exciting.
Yes, yeah. So they're doing that. So yay. So that's gonna be a thing.
I have to put this in my calendar 1 week from today.
Oh my God, that's really. Oh God, April's gone by so fast somehow, but also dragged on. I don't know. Time doesn't mean the same thing anymore.
Means nothing.
Time means nothing anymore. Like, the hours drag on, but the days pass so quickly. If that makes sense. Exactly. Yeah, like that's. But yeah, no. So Parks and Rec is another one of my favorites. Like, Leslie Knope and I feel like we have a lot in common. I love her. I haven't watched it in a while because I think it reminded me of a previous relationship. And I have that problem. One of the things I put on my things I love list is metaphors. I always become the character that I'm watching. I'm like, this is this person, and in my mind I was like, okay, if they end up together, then we belong together in real life, like like completely unrealistic, dumb stuff, but it's there in my brain. And so I think in analogies, I speak in analogies, I love them. So like Leslie Knope and I want to rewatch it now that like I've sort of moved on from a previous relationship, that it shouldn't bother me as much. But it did for a while, because in my mind we were Leslie and Ben. So yes. I
need you to text me who it was.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you know. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna text you right now because you know.
Yeah. I feel like we're like in middle school, like.
No, I love it. I miss that though, because like honestly, I didn't get as much of that because I went to a private Christian school. We had like small groups, so like high school, I got like a little bit of it, but I miss that like gossipy, like all that kind of stuff, because you just.
I got your text and I was like, so that's like, I thought that, but then I was like, well, that seems like it would have been too recent to have been. So I was thinking the one before that.
No, it will, because like
because the show that I relate that person to is different than Parks and Rec.
Yes, I mean, there are other shows, but yeah, that do remind me, but like, this was just, it was one of the reasons why I hadn't rewatched it. And then Game of Thrones, which I'm guessing may be the one that you think is related to that person. Yeah. Okay. Is That's one that, like, season 8 literally broke my heart. Like, I don't know, are you planning on watching it, or do you care about spoilers?
I've seen the last episode.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, anyone else who's listening, like, if you care about season 8 spoilers, you need to turn your ears off for a second. But
it's been a year. You should.
It's fair. Yeah, I think it's fair game now. But yeah, like, season 8 literally broke my heart. Like, there's a part of myself that I
episode was just like the worst.
I identify so strongly with Daenerys, and I have from the beginning. And so, like, like, we never gonna see a woman win. Like, there's so many people, and they just don't understand the value of that representation of just, like, having a woman in charge. Like, we're stuck with Trump right now, which is, like, almost the worst literally the worst possible scenario for women. Like, we could have had a woman president who, albeit there may have been issues with, but not nearly the, like, dumpster fire that is Trump. I could go on about that, but it's like, we can't just have a woman win. Like, I want to see a woman in power. I don't see why it's that hard. And, like, I kind of understand where they're coming from for her. And yes, I appreciate, complexity of character, and not everyone's all good and not everyone's all bad. But at the same time, it's like, it just feels like the woman and the people.
It was like a cop out. It was like,
yeah, it just felt like, what were we all building up to? Like, and if you read the books, like, there's a whole prophecy, and it just, like, F the prophecy, who cares about that? Like, whatever, because none of it adds up. And just, she meant so much to me, and it felt like everyone was just like, the woman and the people of color are too angry. And yes, I'm probably putting too much on this, but it was like, all the non-white people were on her side. And, like, Grey Worm kept killing everyone, and he's not white, and Daenerys kept killing everyone. It was like I don't know. It, like, I had to think through this, and I literally cried, like, alone in my car after that episode aired. Like, I was so upset. And then I almost fought someone at work because they were like, "Oh, I knew she was like that from the beginning when she embraced the Dothraki." I was like, oh, like, excuse me, she was doing what she had to do to survive, and she found strength, and she made the best of her situation. So you can actually get caught on fire. So like I said, I see myself in the characters, and so I have so much invested into this. And that's another reason why I'm very picky with TV shows, is because I put so much time and feeling into them that, like, it needs to be worth how much effort I'm gonna put in, because I watch and rewatch and rewatch and rewatch shows. Like, that's gonna be a thing for the rest of my life. So, like, yeah, I have to be picky. But Game of Thrones, I usually, like, rewatch it every year before the new season starts, and so at this point I would have rewatched the whole series, but haven't had the heart to do that yet, because it still stings a little. Like, that hurt. But yeah, I think that was like, what's up?
Okay. It's okay.
It's not okay, Melanie. I just wanted a queen of Westeros. Is that too much to ask? A queen with dragons who's just powerful and kicks ass. Like, like, if it weren't,
translates that I'm petting you here.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, like, it just, if it weren't for, like, Disney princesses and, like, Mulan and Katniss Everdeen, we wouldn't have women being strong and powerful, and, like, and even the Disney princesses, like, up until recently, have had some pretty huge flaws in asserting their independence, so it just, like, it meant so much to me. Just, like, let me have this win, please. I've been through so much, just let me have it. And they just, like, just swept it out from under me, and it just, like, and to hear all these people be like, "Oh yeah, I totally saw this coming. Oh yeah, this is totally her," when she spent all this time, like, fighting to help people get out of slavery. And, like, I know that there's all sorts of things about white savior and all that, but still, like, she also fought through her own oppression, and it just, it hurt me. It hurt me a lot. I know, like, you had talked about the How I Met Your Mother series, like, final series, and how that kind of, like, infuriated you, and that's sort of how I felt about Game of Thrones.
If you watch How I Met Your Mother, don't watch the last season.
Yeah. That's about where I'm at with Game of Thrones. Like, just tell people, like, just don't watch the last season, even though there's some great dragon battles, but, like,
I didn't even mention my all-time favorite now that we're talking about women and representation, I didn't even mention my all-time favorite television show, which is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I need that.
Badass woman, Buffy.
I've only seen a couple episodes, but I did really appreciate it.
Well, you should watch all of them.
It's one of those that's on the list, but I have to.
All of them.
What's up?
I said, I don't know if you're like me, but don't watch all of them.
Of Buffy?
Yeah. Like, if you're like me, if somebody tells me, then
right. Yeah. No, sometimes I have those moments. Like, yeah. I think I don't know. I just am never, I don't know if my heart is ready to commit to a new series yet. I think that's part of the issue sometimes. It's like, is it gonna hurt me again? Like, I don't want to be hurt again.
Buffy is one that we should, instead of Melek's movie night, we should have Melek's, like, television series year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't roll off the tongue quite as nicely, but yeah, okay.
And we'll just watch, like, a couple episodes together, like, a week or something until we finish the series.
Okay, I could be down with that.
We should watch Buffy.
Okay.
I declare it.
Signed into law.
So it shall be.
Okay. Okay, tell me about the YouTuber, vlogger that you...
Okay. So I feel like it's so, like, lame, probably, compared to what you watch. And it's, like, just very, very, like, wholesome content.
Wholesome is good.
Like, it's just very sweet. But it's, these vloggers, and it's, like, a Mormon couple that lives in, like, Salt Lake City. And they have 2 kids. And they just, like, vlog about their life and stuff. And the first video that I watched was them buying a bunch of different, like, generic and off-brand sodas, and then, like, on-brand sodas like Coke and Sprite and stuff, and then, like, doing taste tests to see if they could figure out which one was the real like one. And then ever since then I've been obsessed, and it's called the Dashleys. That's their name. But like, last night I watched an hour and 15-minute long video of the journey from her finding out she was pregnant with their second child all the way through that second child being born. So I literally watched, like, a full-length film of this lady's pregnancy.
That's commitment right there.
And they're just so adorable, and, like, they just seem very sweet. And they, like, went on a date to Disneyland, so I watched that episode. And
is that the thing that you shared on Facebook earlier today and tagged Nick saying, like,
yeah
or something? Okay, I saw, like, the beginning of that, and I was like, oh, it's 10 minutes long, I'm not in the mood to watch that on Facebook.
So I've watched, like, probably, like, a total of, like, 7 hours of their life in the past, like, 24 hours.
Okay.
I feel like they're my new best friends. So if you're out there, we're friends. We only live 4 hours away from each other.
Nice.
They're like, their names are Dallin and Ashley, so that together is Dashley, I guess. I don't know for sure, but that's because their last name isn't Dashley, but
okay, that makes sense.
Dashley. I don't know. So I've been watching that vlog. So okay. They've been doing it for a long time, so I have a lot of material.
I feel like that's how it starts. Like, that's how it started with me, with all the people that I follow now. Like, I think I saw Jenna Marbles first. It was how to trick people into thinking you're good looking, and it was on Facebook. And and it was just hilarious. And then like I don't think I had seen her stuff for a minute, and then I like just started watching like everything. I like I started watching more recent stuff, and then I was like I went back and like watched everything that she had made since, and then I've been hooked since like I don't know what, like 2012 or something, 2013. Like it was around probably when I started, like probably I think it was after you moved, because I spent a lot of time just sitting there watching YouTube. But like
I remember the first Jenna Marbles video that I saw was the one where Adele keeps popping up.
Oh yeah. Yes. Someone Like You or whatever, when she keeps like, or oh no, it was, wait. I hate to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but yes.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's a classic. No, I love Jenna Marbles. I've mentioned that on multiple occasions. But like one of my other number ones is the Try Guys.
I knew that's what you were gonna say.
Yep. So I call them the One Direction of BuzzFeed, because you know how One Direction was created by Simon Cowell. He just threw them together and they became a band. Like the Try Guys were thrown together at BuzzFeed and became this awesome, like, I don't know what the word for trio for four is, but that. But they're like, they just eliminate toxic masculinity. Like they're just so good about it. They tackle all these important issues, but then they also do like a bunch of stupid shit, and I like stupid shit. Like when they just do, like they did a whole episode or a whole video about like getting Eugene to sit on Keith's lap, and they made it like a whole ceremony, and it was like the dumbest thing on the planet, but I loved it, and I love stuff like that, because it's, in my opinion, that's wholesome. Like that's my, I mean, obviously there's a lot of swearing and like stupidness, but like it's my wholesome content, because it's just like people being silly and being comfortable being weird and stupid with each other, and those are the things that I love. And then again, like they just talk about so many important issues. Eugene, when he did a coming out video last year, I don't know if you've seen it. It's like, it was huge, but it's like a dance video, and he choreographed the whole thing. That's just beautiful cinematography. He has specific colors in each scene, and it creates a rainbow, and it's just like, there's no words in the whole thing, but I cried like half of it. And then he does like a behind the scenes one, and I cried during that too. It's just like, it's so moving, and he's so talented, and they all are in their own respects. Like Keith is, I feel like he and I have a lot in common personality wise. He's real goofy. He's like, he likes to make up stupid songs about things. Sometimes he actually is pretty good at making up songs. He can sing. But yeah, they're just amazing, and I love them. So that's one of my faves. And then I love Mythical, so that's like Rhett and Link, Good Mythical Morning. But then they also have the Mythical Kitchen now, so they do like a bunch of stupid food experiments. So they do like fancy fast food. They did like I don't remember the actual price, but it was like $300 Taco Bell Crunch Wrap, or like a $500 like KFC famous bowl or whatever, and they just get like the most expensive fancy ingredients to recreate this dish and make it as delicious as possible. And so that's really fun. And then they do like Snack Smash, where they did like, I don't remember, I think it was like Sour Patch beef jerky or something, just like real weird, in Red Bull Gushers. They do a bunch of just like weird stuff like that. And so I just, that's the kind of content that I'm here for. Just a bunch of like random stuff, things that I can live vicariously through, because like I can't afford to, you know, waste food too often by doing like stupid experiments. Although that being said, I spend so much money on getting delivery every night, but so I probably could afford it, but I just don't. And then doing crazy things with hair or whatever, like that's Jenna Marbles. I wish I could do that. I mean, like I have like platinum blonde hair right now, but my hair has to be like natural colored for work. So like this is about as crazy as it gets. I have dreams of bigger, better things, but one day. That's another thing I love is just crazy fun hair. What else you got? Did you write down books or movies or anything?
Let me see. I know I did. I just have to get to it.
I was like, I got like 75 things in here, so.
My next was podcasts that I like.
Ooh, okay. What podcast do you like?
Crime Junkies. That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Love Crime Junkies. I have I don't know. I have a problem with one aspect of Crime Junkies, but I don't want to say it because I feel like if they ever heard it, I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Okay. Fair.
Anyways, I mean, I feel like anybody that listens to Crime Junkies probably knows what I'm talking about because I feel like everybody probably has the same problem with Crime Junkies as I do. But I don't want to be a mean person.
Okay.
Well, I mean, right now I don't want to be a mean person. Sometimes I do, but just not right now.
But just not.
And then the other podcast, you're not going to be surprised, is my Disney podcast that I listen to, which is called Be Our Guest. And they're like, you found Be Our Guest, the Walt Disney World trip planning podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage. And then there's like a big introduction, but anyways. So yeah, Crime Junkie, Be Our Guest. Another podcast that I like though, True Crime All the Time. Okay. True Crime All the Time and True Crime All the Time Unsolved. I like true crime.
I like that's another one of those things where like I have a fascination with it and I used to watch a lot more of it. But I have to be very picky about when I choose to do it. And again, I'm a super jumpy person and I also lose faith in humanity very easily. So I have to like watch out because like, hey, there's 75 serial killers that live near you. And I'm like, cool. I like hate my life. Go away. So yeah, I have to be.
Well, I mean, yeah, like when, like if I'm home alone or whatever, like I will not listen to them. And I know you live alone right now, so
that's a big thing. And I've literally had, like my former roommate's ex-boyfriend broke into my house and punched holes in the wall at one point. So, like security is kind of like a thing for me. So yeah, like I definitely get, and I've had multiple spider incidents this week where the spider literally jumped. Oh my God. Like first it jumped, like I looked up at the ceiling and like as soon as I like saw it and realized it was a spider, it like whoosh, and I'm like, and then I looked down because I was like, I was gonna find it and try and kill it. I know people have feelings about that or whatever, but like I had to do what was best for my sanity, and this is my workstation. I can't work near spiders. And so I like tried to go look down and it was like climbing back up the web and then dropped down again and then I couldn't find it. And so then I had to I was like, I'm going to take my lunch now because I am literally like, how you get like the itchies? Like,
yeah.
And I'm like, and I like so jumpy and so paranoid I couldn't do it. And then today it just showed up out of nowhere on the back of my computer screen. It was just like, I don't know if it was crawling up or down because I like saw it out of the corner of my eye and thought it was a mosquito and they were like, no, spider, and screamed and then was like whimpering trying to find it. And I like made myself go and try and turn the monitor to see if I could find it and I couldn't. And I'd already taken my lunch at that point and it was near the end of the day and I was like, okay, I just have to like breathe through it. So I kept I was like, fine, I'm fine. And then I sat back down and I was like, itch. So yeah, anyways, I have a problem with being paranoid and jumpy about things. And so.
Well, I mean, and I like the worst serial killer, in my opinion, that I've ever heard the story for, like, was the one that got Samantha Koenig, like back in 2012.
Oh, see, okay, so Israel Morales, I believe.
Yeah, Israel Keith. That's what
Israel Keith. Yes, that's it. I actually listened to some of his interviews with like police, and like that actually freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, I can't even like talk about him. Like,
okay, we can move on.
Well, especially because I was there. I was there 2012, like living by myself and everything. Like, and so I'm like just like the proximity was just too much.
I know some of the people who helped get him caught, actually. I don't think I can say more than that, but like, yeah, that is, but no, I listened to some of that and it freaked me out because it's weird that like the police officer basically has to be on their side. They have to be like, okay, you know, like we helped you out with this thing. So can you tell us a little bit more about the bodies in Maryland or wherever? I can't remember where they were.
Yeah, like he had like like killing kits hid everywhere.
Yeah.
And I now, like, I can't be in this room by myself anymore, and I have to go out to the living room.
Sorry. Well, it's funny because I was the one saying I can't handle it, but now
I know. Now it's me.
Well, you know, do you know The Butcher Baker? The one that they made the movie The Frozen Ground, with John Cusack?
No, but I know of the movie.
Okay, so that guy, he was a baker, and he actually made my aunt's wedding cake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which, okay, so I told you I wanted to do an Alaska Facts podcast, so maybe I'll stop in that spectrum because I have some stuff that I want to talk about. But I was going to talk about podcasts. That's where we were. That's where we were. Well, I've mentioned a couple times the Jenna Julian podcast, so that's Jenna Marbles and her boyfriend Julian. They do a podcast. I've gotten a lot of my ideas from them because they do a lot of great stuff, and they get ideas from other people too. It's just, you know, how things are done. I do watch Ear Biscuits, which is the Rhett and Link podcast from time to time. Depends on the topic. Like sometimes they annoy me because they keep interrupting each other and it stresses me out. Then the Tripod, which is the Try Guys podcast. Basically all the YouTubers that I follow, I watch their podcasts. Yes. So I think that there might be more, but those are what I remember of my podcast. Any other topics you have in yours? I pulled one out of mine that I can.
Tennis shoes.
Tennis shoes, okay.
Yeah, hold on. I have to go back to the room because I put my tennis shoes in there.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave the door open so that way the serial killers can't get me if the door is open, right?
Right. Oh no,
it's also like I'm right beside this window that looks out to the front yard. Okay. So let me put this back down and get out the tennis shoes. So I actually like these tennis shoes are the tennis shoes that I wear to Disney because they're very comfortable. And I just actually bought a new pair at Fred Meyer's the other day because Fred Meyer's had a like 20% off of all women's apparel or something, and then they had an extra 20% off coupon. So they had the tennis shoes there, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna get them. I was at Fred Meyer's for not recreational shopping, but ended up good with tennis shoes. But
I know how that goes.
It's these, and they even say,
"Me so comfortable. I'm so comfortable."
So comfortable. Mm-hmm. And they're New Balance. And they look like this, and they like the tongue. Like they don't have a tongue. It's just like connected here. And so they're called New Balance something tennis shoes. I'm going to look what the box says. Lifestyle Mode de Vie. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyways, I have these tennis shoes in black. And they're what I wear to Disney, and they have like a little mini bow on them. But these are not Disney themed. These are just regular tennis shoes. But like they have memory soles, and they're just like, I highly recommend these shoes. Like I bought a second pair because they're just great tennis shoes. And I don't really wear tennis shoes very much. Right. I'm not an athletic person. But if you need to walk long distances, I recommend them. You might want to get some of these for Disney. They're great.
Okay, yeah, I do. Well, I need to check out, the lasting power of my current tennis shoes because, there's definitely something to that. So I don't have shoes, Rex, although I had a bunch of things that I like. I have a bunch of like clothing things that I like. I've talked about puffy shirts before. That's always the thing. I love Victorian era clothing, like the stuff that's like very like it's very like tall and skinny look. Like I don't know if you saw the Dracula with Keanu Reeves in it. And Gary Oldman as Dracula. Okay. But the costuming that they have on that is I love it. I just love the way it looks.
Another reason to watch Buffy, they do a lot of flashbacks.
Oh, okay. I love me some Victorian era clothing, and like plaid was another one of my things. Part of it, like I know I'm Scottish. I mean, well, not just Scottish. I have a lot of other things, but I did Scottish Highland dance for a long time, and I went to the Scottish Highland Games, which they just canceled this year. So fun. And they do a bunch of other. I've done a bunch of other just Scottish stuff, and so like that's part of it. But also, I just like the way plaid looks. I've always had fun with it. So that's a vibe. So those are like, and then I also wrote like for fashion stuff, I written lace, satin, silk, and velvet. And so like 90s.
Great materials.
What's that? They're great materials. So
Yeah.
Like I was like 90s fashion was another thing that I had written down on just things that I love.
Let me show you these like since we're on fashion and I specifically talked about shoes. Let me show you. I bought not one, but 2 pairs of sandals today. So let me show you these sandals that I got. And I think they are just the cutest things. And they're Tevas. And they look like that.
Okay, those are very nice.
And so they're like rainbow colored. They're like multicolored. And they're so cute. And I can't wait to get them. And then the other sandals that I bought are these like classic Birkenstocks.
Oh, nice. Yep. Solid.
I'm super excited about my shoe purchases today.
Well, like as someone who has weird feet, shoes are very important. Like my grandma always said, if you find a shoe that fits, buy it in every color. And that's very much a vibe that I've stuck with most of my life because I have short, wide, thick feet with high arches. And so I describe them as cubular. I think I might have talked about this before. But
yeah.
It's hard to find. So Birkenstocks used to be like the only sandals I could wear because they were the only ones that were like wide enough to properly fit me. I remember I went to Disneyland in like 2nd grade and I remember I was wearing flip-flops and they were like the plasticky kind and I got like massive blisters between my toes and I like didn't wear flip-flops for a really long time after that. And now I like am very picky about which flip-flops I wear, and just about shoes in general. I kind of have to be, and I like until Part and Parcel, which sadly is going out of business. It's a plus-size fashion line, but I had the hardest time finding boots because again, short, wide feet. I have very small ankles, but huge muscle, like mostly muscle calves. Just like the proportions are all crazy, and it's like impossible to find boots. Even though I love boots and I've always wanted them. But I found some Part and Parcel, they even have like calf plus or whatever. So they have like different sizes and that was really nice. But yeah, I love me. Well, I bought like one of everything on their site when they were going out of business. I mean, look, like I got like
it was cheap.
Everything was so on sale, by the way, like it may be too late by the time this podcast comes out, but like everything was like $5 or $7 basically. I got like 20 things for less than $200, like, and because it's stuff that like it's pretty good, it's good quality stuff. They have like dimensional sizing. It's very sad that they're going out of business, so maybe they'll come back, I don't know, but yeah, so shoes are very important. It's important to have good ones, and also like once you find good ones, you gotta stick to it.
That's what, yeah, like I had Birkenstock sandals for I think 3 years, and then the strap broke, and so this is me rebuying Birkenstock sandals. And then Tevas, I had some Tevas that I got last year sometime, and they really, if I walk long distances in them, they hurt my feet. They're very comfortable if I'm not walking for like a really long time. But they're really hard. So I got these new Tevas that I think might work better for walking longer. So we'll see. But and then the Birkenstocks are just crazy comfortable because they conform to your feet. But I think, and then the other shoe that I was considering buying were Chacos. Considering getting some Chacos, but I'm like, I bought 2 pairs of sandals. Do I need to buy a third pair of sandals that cost over $50 today? Like, I don't know. But
yeah, self-restraint is hard. I have a problem with that. Like, especially now that I've, like, online shopping used to be nice. I think, man, I have a problem where I forget who I've talked about this. I think I might have talked about this on the podcast before, but like, online shopping, it used to be really easy to not buy too much because I couldn't find it in my size anyways. And now I'm finally finding places that I can find stuff in my size. I'm like, well, that's inconvenient for my wallet.
Oh, I was saying all that to say that I think Chaco, Teva, and Birkenstock all had wide options.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew Birkenstock and Teva did, because I remember I used to have a pair of Tevas as well. They were like lavender, because that was like my color. Which purple was another one of the things, my favorite things on the list. And then I guess we're getting close to an hour, so I already pulled this one out of the thing already, so I'm just going to do it. Accents, specifically Scottish accents, I love. If you've seen Outlander, which I do recommend, although it has a lot of triggering scenes that you should definitely be wary
One of
of.
my like 16-year-old students recommended that to me. And she was like, don't judge me for recommending this show to you. And so I'm like, okay. And then I figured out, I haven't watched it, but I figured out why she was like, don't judge me. So
no, I think it actually hits on a lot of really important things, but it, like, I had been warned, but I think I was told the wrong episode, and something kind of bad happened in one of the episode that I was told, and so I was like, oh, that was it? Okay, that wasn't that bad. And then the thing happened, and then it was like, oh, I'm glad. Okay, I understand why I was warned. So yeah, it was a little graphic on a couple of things, but again, it does hit on important things. It just, like, it's good to be warned in advance. But that was not what I was going to talk about. Scottish accents.
yeah,
I love. Richard Madden. The one who played Robb Stark in Game of Thrones. He was the prince in Cinderella, the live action one. Yeah, I love him. He is Scottish. And then I also like other accents, like not Spanish from Spain, but like people who like Spanish speaking accents. I watched like a BuzzFeed video, and they're like, which Spanish accent is the hottest? And I feel like I remember, because they did like they've done multiple ones, and I feel like the ones that I always like are the ones from like the Caribbean and the ones from like South America. So it's like Venezuelan or Ecuadorian, or like Dominican or whatever. Like those, I mean, I like them all. Again, Antonio Banderas was he woke something in me, and I have been insatiable for Spanish accents ever since. And so accents are one of mine. I don't know if you have any favorite accents.
I mean, I do. I like, well, I mean, I don't. I like all accents. But but this is not like because of it being attractive, but one of the things that you said accents, and I just think of the "Can I pet that dog" video. Can I pet that dog? Have you seen
that? Sometimes accents are just entertaining. That's also a thing.
Have you seen that video though?
I feel like I have, but it's
like a little kid, and he's like, "Can I pet that dog?" And his mom's like, "No," and he goes, "Can I pet that dog?" Like, "No," and he's like, "Can I pet that dog?" And it's so cute. He just gets like, more excited about petting that dog than like the longer it goes on. But
so important.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I like all accents are, well, I mean, like, I don't, I don't know about like American or like North American accents aren't necessarily like attractive to me, but any foreign accent.
Yeah, foreign accents. There are certain like regions of the US that I do think can be attractive, and like obviously it varies. If the person is attractive, then I can find them attractive, but like I always like I thought I wasn't a big fan of southern accents, and then I dated a guy from Georgia and I was like, call me princess again, do it. Like say it. Yeah, so I do like that.
I mean, obviously I have a soft spot for southern accents.
Right.
I'm from Alabama, for those of you who don't know. But.
Well, it's funny because like I've started saying y'all more, and I like it's partly from you, I think. The Try Guys, like Eugene is from Texas, so he'll say y'all a lot. And there was one other, I was watching something else that they're so, oh, it's Rhett and Link, duh. They're from North Carolina, but they're very southern. They've definitely maintained that, and they also use the term y'all, and I think that's like I've started saying it now, even though like,
well, again, like I don't feel like it's, well, I mean, I didn't until I moved to like Idaho. Like even Alaska, I don't remember anybody saying anything about it, but like in Idaho, people point it out all the time, and I'm like, it's not that big of, like, across the country people say y'all, it's not that big of a deal, but like literally every single time that I say y'all to Nick's, like around Nick's mom, she'll be like y'all and like point it out and be like, and I'm just like, I feel so self-conscious about it now, and I'm like, right. It's just a word, calm down, people. Like,
but I will argue that like in Alaska I had not really heard it like ever until like college, because I had a friend who was also Southern, and like I can't remember where she's originally from, but she like when she was drunk or like angry, like it would come out more, and so like you don't have like a super strong accent, like, but when you say y'all, you can hear the drawl, I think, more. I think that's part of it, and I do think that it is more regional. I mean, I think it's like a big part of the US, but if you're not from that part of the US, it's kind of like oh, there's a Southerner right there, like that to me, which I don't want to make people feel self-conscious either, but like but that is something that I remember, like I had never really heard, and it very much stuck out to me the first couple times I heard it. So yeah.
I'm gonna play a video of my like little Southern accent when I was a kid. I think you've probably seen this video.
I feel like I know what it is, but that's totally cool.
But I'm saying cheese.
Yeah, that's like, see, that doesn't like combine with you to me, like that you don't sound like that anymore at all. Which, not to say that there's anything wrong with that.
Don't say that.
Like, I'm saying cheese. Yeah. Like, yeah, but it's strange how like I feel like some people's accents like hold on more than
I've lived a lot of places.
That's also true, yeah. But no, like the Alaskan accent, I think there's a little bit like I always thought that I didn't have an accent, but then like, you know, I hate to use Sarah Palin as an example, but like you can kind of hear like Canadians kind of hold their O's more. And I know people who like from Alaska who went to like the UK and everyone thought they were Canadian. And I think that Alaskans do kind of like hold their O's more. It's kind of like what is it? Great Lakes, like Michigan, Minnesota, but it's less pronounced. But I do think that there's certain vowels that we pronounce like stronger. Again, not strong, but I do think that there's something to it. So yeah, that's like, that's my accent, I guess. I don't know.
I do know when my grandparents just moved to Idaho from Alabama, where they've been forever, this past summer, and when they moved up here, they were like, "You sound like a Yankee now."
Yeah, that's you kind of do. Nice.
Excellent.
All right. Well, those were some of our favorite things, guys. I'm sure. Well, I know I have a buttload more. I'm sure over time we may come up with more and do it again. And perhaps next week we'll do the Alaska facts, because I hear some real messed up information on the internet sometimes, and I know it's not true. I will put it right.
Yes.
Make sure people know. I have a lot of state pride, if you couldn't tell. And then maybe we could do like an Alabama one for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's all true, guys.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are true about Alaska too, not gonna lie. But okay. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm a YouTuber now. And we'll see you on the next one on You've Got Mel X. Bye.